with a round of applause. Join me as we welcome God's choice servant, my father, Apostle Michael Orokpo.
Genesis chapter 1 from verse 26. The Lord was speaking to himself. You know, there are times I was sharing with my people on Sunday and I told them there are works that God delegates to angels. But there are certain works that God does himself. Creation is one of them. You can't delegate that assignment to any being because nobody has the blueprint. In fact, the codes are locked in the Godhead. Only God knows it. Creation is one of it. Redemption is another. These assignments, you can't delegate them. Only God can do them. Because we were dealing with a subject, people ask questions. They say God is not married. How can God have a son?
People keep arguing that how can God have a son if he's not married? That's dwarf thinking. Because even the lower organisms like amoeba, they don't marry, they have children. You don't need to have a wife to have children. And the way God works is that when a man talks, you hear sound. But when God talks, the voice of God walks. The Bible said in Genesis chapter 4, he said the voice of God came walking in the garden. So when God talks, God can sit on his throne. Hear this, please. It's not every errand an angel can run. Salvation is one of them. So there are certain things that God has to do by himself. So the way God does it is that, like creation, no angel can create. That's why he said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. How? He said, God said. So when God spoke, the word went to work. That means the word is not sound. The word is also a person. So when a man talks, you hear sound. But when God talks, God comes out and God starts walking. So the God that spoke is God Father. The one walking is God's Son. It doesn't...
Have you heard such things before? You know, essentially speaking, God is one being. But in manifestation, he takes three forms. Because he has an administration that only him can actualize. So God has to manifest in different forms so that God can run God's errand. In order for God to run God's errand. Because if you send an angel to create, an angel will become creator. So when the way God walks is, God is sitting. And when God speaks, you know, I'm talking, you are hearing sound. But when God speaks, the voice of God walks. The Bible said in Genesis 3:8, it said the voice of God came walking in the garden. So when God speaks, it's not volume. When God speaks, the voice of God is a person. So the God that sits on the throne, who originates the voice, is called Father. The one that goes out to walk is called Son. So it's not about wife and husband. It's a separation that is captured within spiritual intelligence. You don't have to marry to have a child. Even in biology, we know that amoeba can divide into two. And both is the same. Are you following this? So the mysteries are much. Now, when God wanted to extend his possibilities outside of himself, he decided to create an entity that will mirror him. And that was when man came into the scene. And so in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, God speaking, he said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. And so when you want to find God outside of God, the only place you should trace him is a man. Let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. And so too much is locked into the human vessel. One of our major responsibilities as we walk through time is to tap into the frequency of our inner man and draw out the resources of God that is locked there. But you see, this assignment is not wished. It's a responsibility. And
welcome to Anagkazwatch TV. Anagkazwatch TV, be a great team and work on life-transforming messages that will bring you into realms of divine encounter with the world of truth. Please, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. God bless you.